the Red Door is a community addiction service that was set up in 2010 in a very small premises on the other side of town, 2 up, 2 down, funded by the task force, the North East Regional Drug Task Force, and myself, and I had won enough money for one project worker, and so we began. So it really has been a ground up, a very small project right in the centre of town that grew and grew and grew because, no different than any other town, Drogheda has a significant drug and alcohol problem. We have a low threshold drop-in service every day of the week, bar Wednesday, where anybody can come into the service. The whole idea of a low threshold harm reduction service is that you remove all barriers, all possible barriers for someone receiving support. So that's absolutely the main aim of our game, is that anybody can come in the door and are welcome to do so. When they come in, then a number of different things can happen. First of all, they're assessed, and we then decide what's a best fit for them. We offer key working, which is a one-to-one bespoke service which supports somebody to look at their behaviour and the changes they might want to make around their addiction. And again, it's about what they want. It's not about what we want for them. Obviously, everybody has a different idea what recovery looks like, and we're very supportive of any small changes that someone can make to change their lives. So you'll always offer a non-judgmental hand of friendship. Really is the start. The big thing that we try and focus on is the sort of gratitude and giving back. So if people have had tough times in their life and people have helped them, then you try and give back to the community. So we do a lot of work in Drogheda itself with some of the more, I suppose, areas that have been graffitied and have been a bit run down, and we try and sort of replant, and that's worked really well. And there's a huge payback for our client group in that, because the community can see the work that's been done, they love it, they get great claps on the back for it, and that's what you want. And that's the positivity that comes from the work is really important. So there's a lot of really good stuff coming directly from the actions of the Gearan report. I suppose going right back to meeting Vivian Gearan, and it was a very positive from the very beginning, meeting him and the time he gave me and the team to kind of listen to what we had to say. And then when the report itself came out, the fact that we were, really there was a huge support for the Red Door in the report. And I felt like after all the years of hard work, there was a recognition of the work we were doing, and I thought that was hugely important for me and the whole staff team, and the community addiction services in general. We're battling hard, and we work with it's a tough client group to work with, and they're very, very at the margins, and we're at the margins as well, doing the work because of where we were. So it's very interesting that we were mentioned in the way we were mentioned, and that's made the difference. So coming in from there, how we've been supported, the plan itself and how that's been put into action, it's been I suppose that in itself has been a very positive experience. It was a structured piece of work that went A, B, C, D, and it happened. It's the first time I've ever experienced, and I'm in the business a long time, where a report was done, it didn't go up on a shelf for it never to be heard of again. There was an action plan put into place, and it continues to this day, and I'm delighted to have been part of it, and it really feels like a very positive experience for me as a manager and for the Red Door. So that's 3 extra staff for the Red Door. Also we're able to bring what was a pilot project, which is the drugs court liaison person, that was working extremely well, into a very important position in our service and in the service in Dundalk. So we have someone now working full-time as a drug court liaison to divert, so somebody can come through the court system without conviction, which is an absolutely fantastic thing, and that's working really, really well. So I suppose the difference that it's made to the Red Door is that we now have a social worker on team. It's something I've wanted for such a long time. The hopes for the social worker have even gone above and beyond my hopes, and that's partly because of the person that we were lucky enough to get into the role, and it's partly because doors are open to us because we have a social worker on team that maybe weren't open to us before, because of the professional qualification that goes with that role. I think that's been a hugely important piece of work.
I have the flexibility, because I'm not employed as a project worker, because I'm a social worker, I have the flexibility to kind of go outside the confines of a project worker role and take on those really complex case management pieces So for people presenting with a dual diagnosis, so significant mental health need and an addiction need, that may not be quite ready to engage in our drop-in, it might be that it's too overwhelming for them, they aren't at the space where they can do it. I have the flexibility that if somebody needs to be called 4 times a week to learn to build trust in our service and build trust in their ability to tackle their addiction and achieve recovery, I can do that. So initially my role as a social worker here in the Red Door was conceived as somebody who could come in here and support parents, but particularly women, mothers who are in addiction and who are at the attention of the Child and Family Agency, TUSLA. Beyond that as well, there has been amazing progress working in collaboration, I suppose, with our mental health teams, particularly the DDOP on the cross lanes in Drogheda. I have the flexibility because I'm not employed as a project worker, because I'm a social worker. So since the increased funding, the increased positions within the Red Door, there's been a totally new way of working for us within the team. Whereas before, we had our budget, we had our project workers, you went dropping, key working, C, it was very siloed, very linear. Now is you come in, you have your drop-in, you have your assessment. Oh, you have children in the care too, so you might need to go see your social worker, she can support you with that. Oh, you've experienced trauma, you're suffering from post-traumatic stress, we'll go to your seeking safety group. Oh, you work, you can't come in, evening cocaine group. So there's all these different options and different referral pathways within our organisation as a result of the implementation board, and as well as outside the organisation. So it's been really positive, not just for staff members, but for also our participants.
I think it's made a huge difference to the networking piece for everybody. So there's a lot of joined up thinking for the first time, because we were so stressed out, all of us, and I mean all the community sector. We were very siloed in the work we did. You didn't have the time to look above the parapet, you just had to keep going. So now there's been time and space made, because we've had to do it, because we've gone into the subcommittees together, we've nailed our colours to the mast, we said, right, we're going to do this. And within that then, and really good networking has come, really good initiatives have come, and even down to like different things like, what they're doing in Tralee, how would I know what they're doing in Tralee and what they're doing in Uri and what they're doing in all over the north, only thanks to the implementation board and the work they've done. We can now see a whole community safety piece coming right across the country, and we are part of it, and we're acknowledging that Drogheda has its problems like anyone else, and we're doing something about it. We're here for Drogheda. We were recognise that there's a lot of trauma in the community, that we are all on the same page around exactly the same. We might be coming from very different areas, but the bottom line is we have had a huge lot of traumatic events happen in the town, and we're going to look at this, and we've got the support of the departments, and we've got the support of everybody's listening to us. The community, I'm not even sure they know how much of a difference that's going to make. We won't know that for a long period of time. But all I know is that we can do our best only now to make the difference down the road. And I think that's where the education people that are coming in. We've got such great people around the table. The principals, they advocate for the kids. We advocate for anybody who's got an addiction or who's, complex mental health issues and all that sort of stuff. So we've got the right people at the table. And I don't think we won't know for a long time. And I'm really hoping that we will see the good things that are going to come from this. And I think that's why we're all here. I hope that's why we're all here.